It's time for the Landrum Football Coaches Show with head coach Mike Reid on Upstate Prep-Cast. This show presented by Teddy Laster Racing Stables. In addition to the Briar Patch of Campobello, Inman Fast Stop, Pool Time and Supplies of Bowling Springs, Peach Country of Campobello. And now from the Southside Smokehouse and Grill in Landrum, South Carolina, your hosts Steve Roper and Kevin Jackson with head coach of the Landrum Cardinals, Mike Reid.
Good evening, Cardinal fans. Got them on cue there this week. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Landrum Cardinal Football Coaches Show on Upstate Prep-Cast, presented by Teddy Laster Racing Stables. I'm Steve Roper, your host, alongside with my co-host Kevin Jackson and our trusty camera operator Rob McIntyre, and our number one tweeter fan in the audience this afternoon, Mr. Justin Mathis, Kevin. And, of course, head coach of the Landrum Cardinals, Mike Reid. Coach, I don't know what to say about last week, putting up 63 points in a 63-13 victory over Asheville Christian. You got to walk me through that. Awesome.
Well, it was a kind of a last-minute pickup. We had to pick up in May. Polk County decided they didn't want to play us, so we had to find a game, and that was about the only game that we could really find. They're kind of a starter program. I think this is about their third or fourth year. They're a young team, but, we went out there and did what we were supposed to and had a good night. All right, with the win, the Cardinals improved to 3-1 on the season. And in just a few minutes now, we're going to hear from a couple of players who helped lead the way. And we'll have a visit with an assistant coach and preview this week's matchup with the West Oak Warriors. But first, let's get back with the head coach here, Coach Reid. And in that win last week, Coach, you had a decisive scoring advantage by the half. Got a lot of younger players in, and that had to be valuable for you. Yeah, it was. I mean, you always want to kind of see how your younger players are going to perform in Friday Night Lights, because it's a whole different ball game. Even when you're playing a team that you're outmatched, it's still different. Thursday night is kind of more laid back and relaxed, but Friday night it gets a little more intense, and a lot of those guys responded well. Colton Mills played well. Aiden Walker played well. Our line played well. I mean, some of those guys have worked really hard, and they got an opportunity to get in there, and they did pretty well.
Speaking of our offensive starters, once again, Revis with another great ball game, scoring several times. The quarterback looked good. An all-around good effort, even up front. And also the special teams contributed in a big way. But one thing that you and I were talking about before the taping here this evening, Coach, I mentioned how many times in, say, your storied football career as a high school, college player and as a coach, how many times have you seen an offensive team start their first three possessions inside their opponent's 3-yard line?
Not many at all.
So
not many at all.
So that was kind of what we were up against last week. But there again, a lot of younger players got to get in there and play, and that was just just a great thing for the coach to have. And speaking of correcting mistakes from the week before, we had a lot of we had mentioned a lot of false starts and stuff, but tightened up pretty good the other night. Except there were a few times as we talked to you at the half that it could have been a lot worse, but there were those false starts and just the block in the back.
Yeah, we had several block in the backs that took probably 14 to 21 points off the board. I think Hayden Martindale scored 3 times Friday night that it didn't count because of either holdings or blocking the backs. We would have had 2 punt return for a touchdown. We had one. Garrett had one, and then of course Hayden would have had a 60-plus yarder, but it got called back because of blocking the back. It's just, it's the small things, and we've preached about it this week. You just got to fix the small things because small things lead to big things. So you can't do that against good teams.
It's kind of like learning how to control your aggression.
That's right.
When the play happens, you're taught all week and all your football career to get on somebody, make a block, and that.
Well, you got to be smart too. When the ball's 15 yards past you, you can't really block behind the ball. So.
All right. When we come back in a little bit, we're going to talk more about this week's opponent, the West Oak Warriors. And we're going to hear from a couple of players here in just a few moments and one of our assistant coaches. And so we want you to stick around and don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Landrum Cardinals Football Coaches Show here at the Smokehouse Grill, sponsored by Teddy Laster Racing Stables.
There's nothing better than award-winning jumbo wings while you watch great sports programming on huge flat screens at Wings Etc. Grill and Pub. If you love wings and a whole menu of great food and drink options, come to Wings Etc. for lunch, dinner, and snacking, and lots of HDTV sports. And now, when you can't eat and watch the game here, order online for pickup at togo.wingsetc.com. It's fast, easy, and convenient. Wings Etc. Grill and Pub, good food, great times, and online ordering at togo.wingsetc.com.
Do you have a tree problem? Look no further than JB Trees LLC. At JB Trees LLC, we strive to provide a wonderful experience with professional service marked by excellence, all at reasonable prices. Schedule your free estimate today by calling 864-497-8511. That's 864-497-8511, or visit us online at jbtreesllc.com. JB Trees LLC, where your vision meets our expertise.
Are you concerned about the economy, interest rates, or current market conditions? For timely information based on sophisticated research, call Raymond James Financial Advisor Tom Dixon at 864-582-1611. He can discuss your specific needs and help to provide you with investment choices that make sense for you. Call Tom at 582-1611 in Spartanburg for an appointment. Raymond James Financial Service, member FINRA, SIPC. Life well planned.
The Flounder Seafood Restaurant, located at 160 Barbado Lane in Spartanburg, opens every Wednesday through Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Serving the upstate since 1969, they have been twice voted Spartanburg's best seafood restaurant. Everything at the Flounder is fresh and homemade, from their specialty stews to their famous hash and their signature flounder. Visit the website at flounderfishcamp.com. Come visit the Flounder, where there is a line, but it moves quickly. The Flounder at 160 Barbado Lane. Give them a call at 864-576-3165.
All right, welcome back to the Southside Smokehouse and Grill here in Landrum, South Carolina. The Upstate Prep-Cast presentation, along with Teddy Laster Stables, the head coach Mike Reid of the Landrum Cardinals, and a special guest this evening, Mr. Korbin Mehaffey. It's a two-way starter, offense and defense. Korbin, glad you're back, Coach. You brought this young man with us this evening. There's got to be a special reason. Won't you tell us why?
Well, I mean, he was the highest grade on offense again. I mean, he just comes to work every single day, and he's a leader up front for us. He gets us, even today at practice, he gets us in, he's basically telling our whole offensive line kind of what to do. We've had a bunch of injuries, so we got a lot of new faces up there. But, I mean, he's directing that offensive front for us and does a great job, gets us in the right protections. And then defensively, he comes in and spells some of our guys and does a great job when he comes in. I think he had a sack the other night. But as far as offensively, I think he had 4 pancakes and graded out at 87 or 88, and that's pretty good for an offensive lineman.
Yes, it is. So, Korbin, let's ask you this, as a veteran and a leader on that offensive line, how do you handle it? I mean, when you get up in that huddle when the times is tough, do you get to talk to these guys? How do you coach them up, so to speak?
We definitely just keep communication high, because if something's wrong, we got to communicate, and we definitely point out any backers that are coming down, and if anybody has questions, we just got to make sure we talk to each other. Defensively,
you're on that defensive front, and let's go back to the week before last week's game, Coach, where your defense just shut down Ware Shoals in that narrow 8-point loss, and he was instrumental in that also. The corrections that you had made in the first half compared to the second half, and last week, of course, it was just lights out.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Korbin, how do you feel? Are you improving from week to week? Do you see an improvement with your teammates, yourself included?
Oh, we definitely do. Each week we continue to fix our mistakes that we have the past week, and we just continue to grow.
I want to ask you a few personal questions.
All right.
What are some of your favorite hobbies, some of the things you like to do other than football? There's got to be a life other than football, right?
Yeah. Me and my dad actually restore old vehicles, and that's become a hobby of mine. And I'm driving an old truck me and him did, and it's a good hobby to have.
Well, I'll keep that in mind if he wants to maybe work on mine sometime. So, Coach, what can you tell us about this young man that you just really that he just really grabs you in the heartstrings or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, as a coach, you want kids that are coachable. and we don't have to worry about that with him. I mean, he's always asking questions, and he's always come to work. I mean, we don't have to worry about him coming to workouts in the summer. He's always there, and when he's there, he is going to put in 100% effort. And that's one thing you don't have to coach is effort, and he clicks all those buttons. So.
Coach, I want to ask you this now. We've moved offensive linemen around a lot, shuffle them around a lot this year. Are you about to lock in on that combination that you think's the right mix?
Yeah, I think we're getting there. We still got a couple guys, that we're trying to see where they can play and where they can help us out the most, but we're getting there. I mean, today I thought we had a really, really good practice up front. But, I think and the good thing about it being able to move people around is you can give guys spells. Korbin can play center guard and tackle on left or right side of the ball. It don't matter. And I think that's a plus. I mean, if one guy goes down or gets winded, you can just kind of have a rotation going, and it can be good at times and bad at times. But right now it's good. So.
Korbin, the coach, just hit on something there. You're playing on both sides of the ball. So offensively, your job is to push the guy on the other side out of the way, right?
Yeah.
And then when you're on the other side, your job is to make sure that guy doesn't push you out of the way. How do you go about handling all that?
Just do what I can on both sides of the ball.
Do you think that you can anticipate an offensive lineman's move and possibly as an offensive lineman, you think what that defensive man's possibly
definitely
that's the
can.
plus?
Yeah.
All right. That's a great answer right there, and that's what we're looking for. Coach, as I mentioned, we don't often have players come back twice in the season here on our show, and Korbin, you're very lucky about it, but it's all because of your outstanding play on Friday night. Now, got to have a more outstanding play from you this Friday night as we travel down to West Oak.
Right.
So what are you anticipating West Oak to throw at you, and then I'll get the coach's perspective on it.
Now, it ain't going to be like last week. We know it's going to be a longer game this Friday, but I know if we just go in there, do what we've been coached to do, I think we'll be fine.
Have you noticed any offensive weapons that they're going to throw at you? And then from an offensive standpoint, have you got some meat in front of you to block?
I think there's a few things that are not what we're used to, but I think we'll be handling it fine.
All right, Coach. What about our opponent this week?
I mean, as far as offensively, their quarterback's a big kid. He's about 6'4", 6'5", runs decent, throws the ball decent. They got a couple decent running backs. They like to get in some heavy sets, so we're going to have to be good at stopping them run to be successful. And then defensively, they're in a 3-3, which we've seen a good bit. But they got a couple good linebackers that are pretty good. They get to the football. But it's gonna be a test this week, and we got to make sure we're doing the little things, and we got to make sure we're communicating up front and running the right routes and running the right coverage, and we got to do the little things.
Well, Coach, we hope everybody will follow you on down to West Oak this Friday night. We're going to be there, and you can tune in and see that. And Mr. Mehaffey, I hope you have another outstanding game and bring the victory back to Landrum, and hopefully we can get you up here for a third time, and that would be a record. Now we're going to pause a few minutes for listen to a couple of our sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to have another player and another assistant coach, and at the end, we're going to have the coach just tell us a little bit more that he can about that opponent coming up this Friday night. You're listening to the Landrum Coaches Show here on Upstate Prep-Cast, coming to you live from the Smokehouse and Grill in Landrum.
Hey guys, this is Todd Waddell with Upstate Prep-Cast. When the storm hits, trust the guys who've got you covered. Guy Roofing. For over 50 years, they've been protecting homes and businesses across the Carolinas with a quality you can see and a name you can trust. From inspections to full replacements, their team is fast, reliable, and built on integrity. Visit GuyRoofing.com today. Guy Roofing. Protection you can count on.
Call 864-578-4594 for your consultation today.
Discover the power of Mahindra at Mahindra of the Upstate, located at 4951 Chesney Highway in Chesney. We're your one-stop destination for top quality tractors. Mahindra, the #1 best-selling tractor in the world, is now within your reach. Take advantage of our low-rate financing options, making your dream tractor more affordable than ever. Visit our website at sctractor.com or call 864-461-2515. Mahindra of the Upstate, the official tractor of tough.
Jeff Parks and his team of experienced real estate professionals at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services see Dan Joyner are lifelong football fans, and they know for a successful football team on any level, you must have great coaching and a good game plan. The same goes when purchasing or selling a home. Let the Spartanburg office at 170 Camelot Drive be your coach with the right game plan and strategy to make your real estate purchase go like a championship winning season. Contact Jeff Parks at 864-415-0336. Berkshire Hathaway, see Dan Joyner of Spartanburg. See danjoyner.com.
This is Pastor Tyler from View Church. We're located in Bowling Springs at 5555 Pierce Bridge Road. If you've been turned off by religion, been discouraged or hurt by church, or maybe you just thought church was boring, you should give View Church a try. It's a place like none other. The people are genuine, the spirit is obvious, and God is moving in this place. Visit our website for times and direction at viewchurch.org.
All right, welcome back to the Landrum Coaches Football Show here. Our next guest is a true all-around weapon for the Cardinals. He makes big plays at running back, wide receiver, and at defensive back. And he had another big game against Asheville Christian Academy last week. Braylon Revis, our man, in the house this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Kevin Walker is also here. And a little tidbit about the coach here, he's a three-time all-region Coach of the Year, soccer. And, Coach, you want to tell us a little more about that? Then we'll get into
back-to-back Coach of the Year.
Back-to-back, that's right. So he didn't want to say anything about it, but I said, toot your own horn, man. That's a great accomplishment. But what can you tell us about this young man that you've brought here for us this evening? Another first, 2 times he's been on the show. This is the second time. And that's just not happened before. So tonight we're making history on the Football Coaches Show. Coach, tell us about this young man.
Oh, man, Braylon's a great guy, very coachable young man, hustles every play, works his tail off. Very excited that he's part of my defensive back staff, and not staff, but stable I have back there. I'm all veteran guys. I'm very pleased and very blessed to have him as one of my corners.
The number one guy, supposedly, went down in week 2, I think it was, if memory serves now, or 3. You had to step up into the, carrying the tater more than anybody else. And
Yes,
I'm
sir.
telling you, the first week you came out of the gates against Ware Shoals, a fantastic 96-yard jaunt. That was the most impressive run, son, that I have seen in 45 years of covering high school football, and that ranks right up there amongst some of the best.
Thank you.
And I saw Tony Rice one time, too. That's how old I am. So, but tell us, Braylon, you're playing both sides of the ball, as most all of us are here, or y'all are, not me, of course, at Landrum, small school. How do you stand it? How do you take it? How do you train for this? How do you get in shape? What is your mindset switching from offense to defense in the spur of a moment there?
I think just knowing that all of my teammates are going through the same thing, so if they can do it, I can do it, and I just don't want to let them down.
That's a
team effort.
That's a good mentality to have. If your teammates can do it, I can do it. And you try to be a leader. Be that guy that they look to, so he's doing it, so
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going to do it.
Yes, sir.
Now, you've had some great receptions this year, but most impressively has been the running, that you've had to pick up the torch. Can you walk me through what your mindset was at that big run down at Ware Shoals? And I'm going to keep harping on that because it was just such a fantastic run. You went to the left. They thought they had you, but they didn't wrap up. What was going on?
I just bounced it outside, broke a tackle, and I just saw nobody in front of me, so I just started running.
Green grass in the barn, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, it was impressive as it could be. Coach, what are we expecting out of this young man this week, and especially as we travel down to West Oak?
I think another great game with him. Another great game with all my secondary, to tell you the truth. Revis leads a big part of that. I'm seeing some great coverage for him this week, especially with West Oak throwing the ball some. So hopefully we'll get a pick 6 this week with this young man.
Speaking of that secondary, the vast improvements from last year to this year. The guys have gotten a little older back there for you with the experience of Revis back there, but back down to Ware Shoals. the second half, you guys shut them down, and they tried to sneak one in there on you one time, but your guys had been coached well enough to know don't get lulled to sleep back there.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, you've had some great defensive stops this year from the backs and the defensive secondary. And how many picks have we had? We've had a pick every game, I think.
Yeah, we had a 4 this past midweek. So
that's impressive that every week you do get the turnovers, and Braylon's been a large part in that, and the Cardinals have been, just lights out the last several weeks. Coach, overall, what has been the biggest concern that you had coming into the season? Have they improved upon that, and where do you stand right now with your defensive secondary?
Well, the past 2 years I've coached the defensive line, and it's been my first year at secondary coach, whatever. And Coach Driggers has done a fine job with these guys before I arrived on scene. Really just a veteran group. I mean, they do everything you asked. Couldn't ask for anything more. Really no big concerns at all. Maybe in depth a little bit. The starters are really solid. Depth-wise, we're probably like an all of Landrum. We're kind of a little short on depth. But other than that, I don't really have any major concerns.
I want to ask you a personal question, Coach, just as I asked the players. As a coach, you have to get to know each and every one of your players and to be able to coach them and say love on them and everything else that's needed to develop that team philosophy. What is your philosophy that you bring to the kids as a coach? What is the way you go about it?
And I try to let them know that it's important what they do off the field also. Try to invest in them as young men to be better role models, be better people in general. So,
building character.
Building character.
All right.
Coach, tell us a little bit about your history. Where did you go to school and play and coach before coming here to Landrum High School?
Actually, I'm a Landrum High graduate.
Okay.
Back in the day, back at the old Landrum.
He's old school.
I am old school. I spent the past about 7 years at Chapman High School, and here in the same district. So.
And what year did you graduate from Landrum?
1995.
Okay, well before my time, even
so.
Well, that's good to know. I had told Kevin earlier in the week that I thought that you were a product of Landrum High School. Anyway, Braylon, best of luck this Friday night. We are so proud of you here at Upstate Prep-Cast, and just go out there this Friday night and do the best you can, Coach. It was great to meet you finally after all this time. We get you in here. And stick around, folks. We're going to be right back in just a few minutes with the conclusion. We're going to get Coach Reid back up in here. We're going to talk a little bit more about the game this Friday night down in West Oak. So stick around. We're here at the Smokehouse and Grill in Landrum with the Landrum Cardinals Football Coaches Show, sponsored by Teddy Laster Racing Stables.
So I switched my insurance to State Farm, and get this. I talked to an actual State Farm agent who lives in my actual town. And get this. My actual agent in my actual town gave me actual help with the coverage I needed. And get this. My actual agent in my actual town who gave me actual help actually knows my name. And get this. They actually say it's called service.
Call Agent Chad Wagner, Asheville Highway, Spartanburg, 585-7999.
All right, guys, 30-second commercial for GSP Security. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
No, it's your turn to go. I did the last one.
No, this one's yours.
Man, I've already got a security system from GSP Securities. You're the one who needs to talk about this.
Well, you can talk about it because I don't know anything about it, so you tell me.
I've got cameras, I've got motion detectors, I've got everything that I need to be safe at my house.
Oh, come on.
All right, forget it. Y'all both forget it. Just go to www.callgsp.com today to request a free quote.
Warrior Tree Service, your go-to tree experts. Family owned and operated since 2020, offering service from tree removal to tree trimming and stump grinding. At Warrior Tree Service, we handle it all. When nature strikes, count on us to clean up the mess and restore your property back to normal. Visit our website at warriortreeservicesc.com. To get a free estimate, call 864-278-2555. Warrior Tree Service, where nature thrives, we revive.
This is Steve Roper,
Kevin Jackson
at Upstate Prep-Cast, and I tell you what, folks, you don't have to feel a financial strain from a clogged drain. Just call the MVP of plumbers. That's Mike Verner's Plumbing, proudly celebrating their 40th year of service to the Carolinas. Mike Verner's Plumbing has you covered in all situations, whether it's commercial or residential. So if your toilet's on the fritz and you really need to take a
hold everything, folks, call the MVP of plumbers today at 864-472-8756. Mike Verner's Plumbing of Inman.
When you need trusted legal guidance, experience matters. For decades, the Stevens Law Group has been serving people right here in South Carolina. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. They handle all areas of family law with skill and compassion, helping clients navigate life's most important decision. Call 864-598-9172 or visit scfamilylaw.com today. The Stevens Law Group, local experience with a focus on family.
Hi, this is Ron Hawkins with Next Home Experience Realty. For over 30 years, I've been helping people buy and sell homes. Whether you're looking for new construction, buying your very first home, searching for that perfect investment property, or selling a home you've loved for years, call or text me at 864-415-5792 or visit my online site at spartanburghomes.net. I am Ron Hawkins, your trusted realtor in the Upstate, turning for sale into sold for over 30 years.
We're back here, thank you, at the Smokehouse and Grill in Landrum with the head coach, Mike Reid of the Landrum Cardinals, and going to face the West Oak Warriors this Friday night. We got to do some traveling. Coach, we've already touched on them just a little bit. What else do you want to share with the fans out there to let them know about this Friday night's matchup?
Well, it's gonna be a tough matchup just because, one, the travel. You know, it's going to be about an hour and 45-minute drive, and, you know, when you travel that far, it takes a little bit of time to kind of get your legs up underneath you. But, you know, we've had a lot of travel this year, so hopefully that's nothing new to us. But, you know, we just hope we have a good crowd out there, and we hope we perform the way we're supposed to.
I've often wondered about that, how the travel, you know, affects a player later in the evening, because these kids, some of them are at school by 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, just like some of you guys go to a job every day. And imagine at the end of your work day having to suit up and take to the field. How do you keep them a little bit lulled down on a Friday, keep them rested up?
Well, they're young, one for one. But we actually, Thursday mornings, we actually have practice at 6:30 in the morning.
Oh.
That way they're off their feet longer. They have nothing after school on Thursdays, and they don't have anything until the games. So they've got a long time to kind of rest and not worry about being on their feet. But, you know, just, you know, we make sure on the ride there that they're kind of calm and they're kind of just in their own element as far as listening to music, whatever gets them ready for the game. But, you know, they understand that we still do game day lifts on Friday because your body's used to what you're doing, so we don't want to change that much. And it helps on Fridays to do a game day lift. It kind of gets those muscles start to going. But, you know, any road trip, you always worry about, you know, are they resting too much? But especially on long trips like this. But, you know, we've got a veteran group, and I think they kind of understand what they need to do to get ready for a road game.
Well, going down to Wearshoals was a nice little road trip, and the guys came out, you know, fired up, ready to play ball, and eventually took care of business in the second half and shut them out, really. But, you know, that was a tough pill to swallow that night, losing by 8 points. And that's got to kind of stick in your craw a little bit because we know we're better than that.
Yep.
So going into this Friday night's matchup against a team like you're facing, how hungry are your guys to get back into that win column?
I think they are. I mean, I think they want to show people that how we played at Wearshoals is not how we are. You know, we've done a lot over the last couple of weeks of trying to clean up our mistakes, and they've done a real good job of being focused at practice. You know, we've done some things to try to get them to focus more. And we know that they're going to get tired at certain points in the game, but they got to make sure they're playing through that. They can't lose focus. You know, they have to focus every single play on what their job is, and they just got to be mentally tough. Any injuries to report on our team? Anybody? Is AJ still out, or is he going to be available for this week? Right now, we think he's going to be available, but we're kind of going day by day to see how that goes. We're going to have Blake back on the offensive line. Maddox will be back. Bobby Evatt. We're getting a lot of our guys up front that have been starters. They're coming back, so they'll be back this week. So we're getting healthy. Do you think if AJ, when he does come back, or you know,
we've got a 1-2 punch in that backfield now. You've developed Revis into a great running back also, so now you've got that 1-2 punch.
Well, we do.
And
but
a 3-punch and a left hook with the quarterback.
Well, we got really 4. I mean, you got J.P. Branyon, too.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the bull. Don't forget about the bull.
Braylon's great with the ball in his hands, and, anytime we can move him around, to get mismatches and stuff, we will. And that's going to be, especially if AJ's back, hopefully, we can move him around and get him into better situations as far as the offensively, because, he's dynamic with the ball in his hands. And and we get AJ back, I mean, you're looking at 2 guys that can make some noise, but as well as Ty. I mean, Ty's a great runner and a great thrower, so, we've got some pieces. We just got to put it all together.
That's right, fans, and we hope that you put it together this Friday night down in West Oak, and we hope that you, the fan, can show up, Coach. How does it feel to look back in those stands and see a lot of people from Landrum when they come down and support you? Not just parents, but the average person.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. These kids work hard all year, and especially from May on. I mean, it's great to see the support from our community, and we got a great community, and we travel well. I mean, there's a lot of times, we got pretty close numbers as the home team. So it's nice to see our fans show up on Friday nights on away games.
Well, Coach, thank you. And thanks to Korbin Mehaffey and Braylon Revis and Coach Kevin Walker for showing up and joining us this evening. And, of course, thanks to all of you Cardinal fans for tuning in. But before we close, we want to take a moment to thank some of the sponsors who make the Landrum Football Coaches Show possible. Kevin?
All right. Again, the Landrum Football Coaches Show is presented by our primary sponsor, Teddy Laster Racing Stables. Also proud to be sponsored by the Briar Patch Quick Stop of Campobello. Also Inman Fast Stop, Pool Time and Supplies of Bowling Springs, and Peach Country of Campobello. If you'd like to be interested in being a sponsor of the Landrum Football Coaches Show in the future, or partner with us in helping you bring Landrum Cardinals football here on Upstate Prep-Cast, visit our website at www.upstateprepcast.net/Landrum to learn more. Steve?
All right, be sure and join us Friday night down in West Oak. But if you can't make it, be sure to tune in right here on Upstate Prep-Cast to listen to all the play-by-play, and we're going to bring you all the action. So until then, Coach, what do we say?
Go Cards.